Happy Monday morning. I hope you guys had an awesome weekend. Danielle Butler here, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about the questions that you are asking because I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard this. I know I've personally said it, and we hear a lot of our team members say it. I've run out of people to talk to. I've burned through my list. How do you find someone new to talk to? And the reality is, the person who asks the great questions is controlling the conversation. You've heard it said over and over that you should never run out of people to talk to about health and income. And that is absolutely the truth. So sometimes that takes getting out of our comfort zone and meeting new people. Now, if you're like me, I do not want to be a salesperson. I just absolutely do not want to come across that way. And so sometimes I'm reluctant to talk to new people because that in the past I've been that way. Now, what I've found is that if you just make a friend everywhere you go and ask a ton of questions, that generally there's going to be an opportunity for you to share Advocare. It's going to just come up. And, one person who I've really seen grow in this, so no excuses for your introverts, is Jonathan. He's naturally an introvert, but I have seen him throughout his past 2.5 years, and especially in the last 3 or 4 months, reach out to new people even at the airport, every single person we sat next to on the plane, while we were sitting waiting to board, he was talking to people. When we're checking out at a store, he is just always talking to everyone, asking them questions, how are you? How's your day? And really genuinely listening to the answer. And that's what's so important. So it is true. You should never run out of people to talk to about health and income. If you haven't already, I encourage you to sit down and look through your phone book because you might be surprised. Same thing with your Facebook friends list. You might have a ton of friends on there who don't truly know what you do with Advocare. They might see your post here and there that, maybe you've lost some weight or, you feel better and here's you with your Spark, but they don't actually know what you do. And so it might be worth going through and visiting and intentionally reaching out to those people, because here's the thing, you're not going to build a business in Advocare without becoming extremely intentional. That's something that I've really learned lately. So I wanted to talk to you briefly about questions because I feel like that is the gatekeeper. That can open the door and create these opportunities and conversations for you to share Advocare with somebody, so you're not coming across trying to, sales pitch the waitress to buy a 24-day challenge. So we want to avoid that, protect the name. But you want to definitely create relationships. And it doesn't have to be they've got to be your BFF before they're going to buy, some Spark from you, because there's a lot of people who, let's just be honest, our products would add value to a lot of people's lives, pretty much everybody. I feel certain with that. But the income opportunity, same thing. So you've got to learn how to ask the right questions so you can position Advocare as a solution to them. So, when you're asking somebody, how are you? A lot of times they might bring up that they're tired or, that they're working a lot. When you ask them what they do for a living, ask them if they love what they do. And right off the bat, you're not going to say, okay, are you paid what you're worth? But you can definitely keep digging, how'd you get into that? Those types of things, and really start digging. What do you see for yourself, big picture? What do you want to do in the future? Would you ever want to own your own accounting firm or your own hair salon? Things like that, because you might find out that someone has intentions of going back to school to get a master's, or they would love to open their own photography studio. So that type of thing. Find out what somebody's passionate about. A great question, another question is, what would you do if time and money are not an issue? What are you just really passionate about? Because that's when somebody might reveal to you that they are extremely passionate about ministry, and that they would love to create some type of charity, or, they are just have a heart for a certain area that if time and money weren't limiting them, their resources, they would just go wild and make America such a better place. So if they just knew that this vehicle was for them, and there's a lot of people, y'all, that are just like me and Jonathan, that are desperately looking for something, they just don't know what it is. We knew we were called to more than what we were doing every day. We just didn't know what it was or how to get there. And I am so thankful that Todd and Holly Vocal interrupted our lives and invited us to a mixer back in March of 2012 for what they thought was starting out as just, some product. They knew that we like to work out. and that I was into running. And that's how it started. But, they brought us there. CJ started asking us some questions, painting some vision about where we were going to be in the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years. And that's when our wheels started turning. Because here's what society's living day by day. And so sometimes they're not thinking bigger picture. And it's going to take you asking questions. I've heard a lot of people say, and I remember when I, reached out to Jesse and Beth, and I was like, me and Jonathan, we're lacking in the painting vision. We don't know how to do that. And it was so simple. You don't have to be some master with words to paint vision. You have to be really good at asking questions. And that's something that we can all do. So, do you love what you do? Are you paid what you're worth? Where do you see yourself in the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years? What are you passionate about? What would you do if time and money were not an issue for you? Those are a few of our favorite questions. Again, I don't know many people who don't have debt. So although you're not like trying to pry, and I know money can be a cautious issue, you don't want to, we tend to tiptoe around that. I don't know many people that don't have debt. So just share a story of debt freedom, and then I always end a conversation with a question. Does any of that sound like something you might be interested in? I love this line. This may or may not be for you, but I found something that has tremendously helped us and a lot of other people. And your story sounds really similar to my buddy's blah, 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 blah. Fill in the blank, tell them their quick 30-second recap and say, does that sound like something that you'd be interested in? And then pause and wait for the answer. So get really, really good at asking questions. Basic starting place is form. And there we have whole wide videos training on form. Family, occupation, recreation, and the message. People love to talk about their family. Ask them about their kids. What do their kids love to do? What are they involved in? Going back to what they do for a living. I already talked about some of those questions. Recreation, what do they do for fun? Do they love to travel? That type of thing. So really get good at asking questions, and you're going to watch your business explode. The second part of that, and I'm going to wrap it up right here, you have to be a great listener. So you can't just ask the question and while they're answering in your head, be thinking about, okay, what am I supposed to ask next? Because this is not a script. And you can let the conversation take you wherever you need to go. Just make sure that you're asking more questions. Dig deeper. You should walk away from a conversation knowing a whole lot more about them than they know about you. So keep asking, keep digging. You're not prying, you're not overstepping any boundaries. Smile a whole lot, nod, truly, genuinely listen, and then play off whatever answers they give you to keep asking questions there. So that being said, I hope that helped you guys. I know that transition made a really big difference for us in our business, especially when it comes to painting vision and talking to new people, because this has created, now our market is endless. We can talk to anybody, anywhere, grab their contact information. We never leave ours, because the chances of them following, let's just be real, the chances of them following up and, emailing you or calling you are pretty slim. But if you get their contact information after you've sparked somebody or you've talked to them and they're kind of interested, then, you can definitely follow up with them that way. So hope that helped you guys. We cannot wait to see you at Success School, and have a great week. God bless.